The CTC is broken at that. I can call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kokenauer.
Here.
Mr. Harshman.
Here.
Mr. Lake.
Here.
Mr. Martray.
Here.
Mr. Martucci.
Here.
Mr. Mongeau.
Here.
Mr. Renzi.
Here.
Mrs. Sangston.
Here.
And Mr. Panza.
Here. Just stand for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance. Also like to just our thoughts and prayers for Roxanne, for Joe Bramowitz, who covered the school board meetings, did a fine job for many years and was a big asset to David Courier. And if we can have a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
motion to the minutes of the previous meeting.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Motion for the payment of the general and federal fund bills.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment for agenda items. First, we have Sonny Bentley, agenda items.
Yes. I wanted to speak briefly tonight. Over the past several years, I've noticed that, and I know that the Sunshine Law permits the 24-hour notice. I'm questioning the purpose of the Monday work session meetings because on Wednesday, it seems that there are a lot of additions that are being added, which 24 hours doesn't give the public ample notification. I know that's stated in the Sunshine Act, but that's why I'm encouraging anybody at home watching the board meeting to reach out to their senator, Mr. Stefano, Senator Stefano, who drafted an amendment. I would like to see if he would amend it again from 24 hours to a 48-hour notice, and also to mandate that any questions asked during a public meeting be addressed at that public meeting, so that anyone there can be part of the discussion or the resolution of that. The other thing I wanted to address real quickly was the posting of the access coordinator. It's a 3-page qualifications, requirements. When the district advertised for the superintendent, it was barely a page. And for the access coordinator, it's 3 pages, and then it was limited to internal bids only. And as a taxpayer, I have to wonder how seriously you are looking for a qualified candidate to fill that position when you're limiting it to internal applications only. So, other than that, that's all I really wanted to address was, I've done some research on our surrounding school districts, and it's almost all of them do their working session and their voting session in the same day.
2 minutes.
Thank you. Pardon me?
You have another minute.
Oh. And that's all I'm saying is, it seems like there's really not a lot of reason to have our meeting, a working session on Monday, when there's going to be so many items added, and that just seems to be almost every meeting, that there are additions added to Wednesday's agenda. So again, I'm encouraging anyone at home to reach out to Senator Stefano to ask for an amendment to the Sunshine Act. Thank you.
Thank you.
Isn't it in our procedure that if we don't read something on Monday, if something comes up for a Wednesday meeting, and you read it, you do give the audience
Yes.
a chance to respond, and because you know, there are some occasions where it happened today. We didn't say anything about it Monday because we didn't know about it yet. But if it happened and you have to put something on because you're having that meeting going on Wednesday. So we'll read the item and then throw it out to the audience if anybody wants to make a comment. Isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I noticed you do that. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't attend the school board meeting in person. However, there are people that watch it on YouTube, and they can't speak for that. So again, I guess like I said, the other school districts are holding their voting meetings and their working session meetings in the same day. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Cecilia Driscoll, class ranking.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. I'm going to talk about class rankings. There are people who seem to think that they're not really important anymore. But I've done some research, and I think it's important that you understand that, number one, college admissions officers believe class rank is an important metric. Some colleges require students' class rank on the actual admissions paperwork. Colleges, particularly public universities, find rank to be a helpful statistic. It helps them to understand how a student will work as far as academic performance, because we know college is much harder, much different than being in high school is, and how a student portrays himself in the high school years and how their study ethics is a good indicator of the success that they may endure in college. But also, some scholarships are based on class rank. If we take class rank away, we eliminate a lot of scholarships opportunities for our students. Class rank results in students challenging themselves and excelling in areas of interest and talent. Children and humans by nature are competitive. When we motivate a child to work harder, to study harder, to excel, they can't help but to excel in everything in their life as they go forward.
2 minutes.
Without class rank, colleges are potentially misled as to who is at the top of the class. Class rank motivates students to work harder, as I said. Hard work will result in being ranked at the top of your class. Competition is good. Competition is a part of life. Life is competitive. Competition among students in schools is a good thing. A positive effect of the class rank is that it exposes our students to the competitive nature that our world offers or maintains at an early age. They start preparing themselves for life as an adult. Doing away with rankings also eliminates a reality check for the students in schools on how classmates compare. Yet, when some states require schools to report class rank to select students under their guaranteed college admissions policies. So as you can see, there are more benefits than offering participation trophies, which is what happens if you take away class rankings. If you're saying that you want to offer more children opportunities to be acknowledged, then actually promote the kids who are in National Honor Society, or talk to them, acknowledge their hard work. But to take away the class rankings is doing a terrible disservice to all of our students. We're better than just offering participation trophies. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all we have for public comment. Moving to athletics, Mr. Renzi.
Thank you, Mr. Manzel. Request approval of the resignation of Lindsay Elsener, varsity assistant diving coach, contingent upon being hired as varsity assistant swimming coach. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to hire Lindsay Elsener, varsity assistant swimming coach. Request to approve to hire Nicole Petrathia, varsity assistant diving coach. Request approval to hire James Campbell, 8th grade boys assistant basketball coach. And request approval to hire Jason Vandermeer, 7th grade boys head basketball coach. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of Tim Ulrich, volunteer varsity girls basketball coach. And request approval of land installer, volunteer middle school boys basketball coach, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Martucci?
No, sir.
Mrs. Sankey?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Evans?
Nothing, thank you.
All I have, Mr. Manzella.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Moving to buildings and grounds, Mr. Layton.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval of the following event and building usage request. Have items 1 through 6. I'd like them spread on the minutes, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
8D is request approval to award the bid for fencing project at the Conzo Area Career and Technical Center to all-around fence in the amount of $43,576. The lowest responsible bidder meeting specifications to be paid from the PCCD grant of $37,477.65 and the CACTC General Fund $6,098.35. And I so move.
Second.
A motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to award the bid for a water line project from the middle school to the CACTC, lease plumbing and excavating, in the amount of $44,475. The lowest responsible bidder meeting specifications and to be paid from the buildings and grounds budget. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those-
Question.
Question?
I know the other Monday we had discussion on water running up and down hills, and what I found out lately was that when a company draws more water for other developments, that they are responsible for putting in a new water line. Has anybody else heard anything like that? Dave, you were in that. Mr. Manzella, you were.
Well, anything that goes on private property, you're responsible. If you have to put a pit on your line, if your own water line, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, you're responsible for your line.
Okay.
If it breaks, you're responsible for your line, yes.
But if they're taking more, if the water company is taking more water off of yours line, causing your water pressure to drop, are they held responsible for that? For not getting water to you?
That's not, we're coming off our own line.
But the water company is supplying us with water, right?
You're responsible for the main line. If you have to put a pump at your house, if you have to put a pump on your property, you're responsible to get the water to your house, to your property. If you need to put a pit, a pump, a booster, a reducer, anything, you're responsible, anything private.
Okay, well, I just ran into somebody from another water company, and that's what kind of explained it to me, but that's all I have.
I hope I answered your question,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kokenauer?
Yes.
Mr. Harshman?
No.
Mr. Lee?
Absolutely.
Mr. Martray?
No.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Mr. Mongeau?
No.
Mr. Renzi?
Yes.
Mrs. Sangston?
Yes.
And Mr. Panzella?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Request approval to award the bid for a water line project from the middle, oh, I just read that.
Go that again.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it again. All right, I'm sorry, moving on. Request approval to advertise for bids and purchase of door locks for the high school. And I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Kokenauer, do you have anything to add?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Martucci?
No, sir.
Mr. Kirsch?
Nothing, thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lakewood. The only thing I'd like to do is, I know that Mr. Kirsch and Mr. Bigham and Buildings and Grounds, they put a good bit of time in that water line. And I'd also like to thank P. American. Tim Burdar was instrumental in sending their people and making sure that we had our information for that. And also Chris Hayes, Eric Yarborough, Mike Rasucci, he was the engineer that helped us to check everything out. And I'd just like to thank them for the time and effort that they put into get this taken care of. Thank you.
I just have one question, Mr. Manzel.
Yep.
On the circuit board up there, was that ever checked out, Mr. Kirst, do you know? The circuit board down there, because I know the other night they said that Doug had to go up there all the time. And you got that circuit board in there, it's got sensors in there. And if there's a bad sensor in there, it's not gonna send the right message to tell the pump. So that's why I wanted to get to the other evening, is if that pump's, it may not be the pump's bad, it might be in the circuitry in there. And that's what I just wondered if that was checked out.
Just to ask you, Mr. Martre, just hypothetically, let's, God forbid the CTC caught on fire. God forbid the CTC caught on fire where the generator is. Where are you getting your fire suppression?
Well, the pressure
Well, wait a
still,
second, you have no electricity, you have no generator now. Where are you gonna get your fire suppression?
wait, the pressure coming from down below is at 33, correct?
You have no
That's what's
electricity.
going to the
You have
fire.
no electricity pump the water. How are you gonna get it?
Okay, never mind, I'm not gonna argue with you
Well,
about it.
I'm asking
just
you a
telling you,
question.
there's 33 pounds coming in down there, it's gonna be at that fire hydrant.
It's
And
not at the fire hydrant.
Water company's gonna get in there, they're gonna pump it to their pumper, and it's gonna
Well,
increase it.
The
Mr.
fire
Barclay,
chief,
33 pounds, if you ever know anything about fire, will not fire a hydrant at 33
Yeah, if
pounds.
you hook up to the fire hydrant.
No, 33 pounds, with me being a fireman, I'll tell you right now, you better not try to put out any fires with 33 pounds in a fire hydrant.
Okay.
You're absolutely wrong.
Okay.
the local fire departments called tankers every time they had any alarm at the CTC, because they knew there was no pressure.
Who's it make there? Where's that?
Some change years ago.
That was a vision.
Moving to Carnegie Free Library, Mr. Mongeau.
And we have nothing on the agenda for Ms. Martre, yes. Mrs. Sankey,
Nothing, thank you.
that's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Mongeau. Moving to Collinsville Area Career and Technical Center, Mr. Coconut.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. We have nothing for the CACTC. Mr. Wright,
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Sangster,
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. McWilliams. Nothing, thanks. We have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coconut. Moving to Curriculum, Mr. Harshman.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Item 11A, travel. In accordance with policy number 431, request approval of the following professional employees' travel. Lauren Carlson is requesting to attend the Pennsylvania Science Curriculum Council, PASCC, Mount Pleasant High School, November 17, 2023, at a cost of $178.34 for one substitute, and I so moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 11B, request approval to advertise for bids for secondary ELA circular materials, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 11C, Mr. Renzi, would you like to take that one?
Request approval to eliminate class rank effective 2025-2026 school year. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Roll call.
Mr. Harshman?
No.
Mr. Lake?
Yes.
Mr. Martre?
No.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Mr. Mongeau?
Yes.
Mr. Renzi?
Yes.
Mrs. Sangston?
Yes.
Mr. Kokenauer?
Yes.
And Mr. Panzella?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Yeah, just a little background on that class rank. We had discussed the back class ranks probably last year, year before. And at that point, my committee decided that we would start with the freshman class coming in. Somewhere along the line, some other people got involved in it, and they wanted to change it for this year, which was a terrible mistake to even think about that. So we're doing it for the 25-26 school year, which I don't agree with. I think we should should have went back to the freshman class. And everybody would have started on a level playing field. So that's my reason. That's all I have, Mr. Renzi.
Yeah, I want to add a couple of things. Mrs. Driscoll brought out some good points about why we have class rank. Just wanted to say some other reasons why many schools don't have it anymore. And the reason is colleges don't look at it because there's so much inequity among their schools. You take a school like, say, North Allegheny graduates 600 students. You might be number 10 in the class, okay? You take a school like maybe West Green that graduates 50 kids, you might be number 1. The class rank is not that meaningful anymore. They look at more your grades and the subjects that you're taking. The other thing is, so many kids, they vie for valedictorian or salutatorian class rank. They get so stressed out, they're taking eight AP classes during the day, they're taking other courses online, but they're not taking other things in school that could be helpful to them. You know, they could take a tech class. They could take one of Ryan Anderson's Fab Lab classes. They could take more phys ed class. You know, we have so many kids, you can't believe it, how many take, they're so stressed out, they want to take all academic, they take their phys ed classes online. How the heck can you get anything out of a phys ed class online? You know, we have 2 gymnasiums, a swimming pool, we have a fitness center, and we have a weightlifting room. They won't take those things because they're afraid someone's going to pass them up. So that's another reason why, you know, we eliminate the class rank so there won't be so much stress. They'll be able to take a more well-rounded education. Maybe they want to take a wood shop class or I'd say wood tech or something else like that. They won't do it because it's going to hurt their class rank. So this way they can leave and they have a very good education and they're going to get everything that they, a lot of things that they need that they wouldn't normally take in a high school curriculum. That's all I have.
Mr. Bonjel?
Nothing, thank you.
Dr. Pence?
I have nothing, thank you.
We have nothing, Mr. Pansella, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Moving to cyber, Mr. Martre.
We have nothing, thank you, Mr. Pence, we have nothing this evening. Mr. Kokenar, anything additional?
Nothing, thank
Mr.
you.
Montiel?
Nothing.
Mr. Ghost?
Nothing, thank you.
That's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Martre. Moving to federal programs, Mr. Mongeau.
And we have nothing on federal programs for this month. Mr. Martrey, do you have anything?
Nothing.
Mr. Martucci?
No, sir.
Dr. Pence?
I have nothing, thank you.
That's it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mongeau. Moving to finance, Mr. Renzi.
Thank you, Mr. Pansella. We have some donations to the general fund addition from Fayette County District Attorney for $30,000 for safety and security for our school district. We have donation to the CACT Steels USA from the Heartland Fabrication in the amount of $871.18. Donation to the Bible Club from Central Fellowship Church in the amount of $50. Donation to the CAHS Prom Committee from Tyke Associates, $100. We have an anonymous gift to the prom of $385. We have donations from McDonald's for $635.08 from the Dine to Donate. And we have 500 LED light-up lights, foam sticks valued at $300 from Chris and Tara Meyer, and I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the attached requisites and orders and to authorize district business office to process orders and payments, and I so move.
Second?
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Anything to add, Mr. Lake?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Harrison?
Nothing, thank you.
Mrs. Robinson?
Nothing, thank you.
That's all I have, Mr. Pansella.
Thank you, Mr. Renzi. Moving to food service, Mrs. Sangston.
Thank you, Mr. Pinzella. Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following additions to the cafeteria substitute list for the 23-24 school year. Patricia Dean and Lisa Morrison, and I so move.
Second?
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's That's all I have. Mr. Kokenair.
No, thank you.
Mr. Martre.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Trippinoff.
I'd like to add on, tomorrow we're having our holiday meal here in the district. I just want to thank our staff for the great job that they do. They prepare this meal. It's a lot of work and effort, and we take a lot of pride in it, so they do a great job. So I was very thankful to be working with them.
Thank you. We also thank them too. That's all we have, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sexton. Moving to personnel and review and liaison, Mr. Layton.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Excuse me. Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following additions to the support personnel substitute list for the 2023-2024 school year. Patricia Dean and Kaylee Henry. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission and screening of background checks of the following additions to the professional substitute list for the 2023-2024 school year. Cheryl Hickson, CTC Cosmetology. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to hire the following personal student aides effective November the 15th, 2023. Marissa Flanders, Melissa O'Donnell, and Jennifer Glisson. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The following sabbatical leaves are confirmed by the board. Lori Heimbaugh, teacher, second semester of the 2023-2024 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Stephen Clark, teacher, effective with the end of the 2023-2024 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The following family and medical leave acts were confirmed by the board. Stacy Rubo, aide, effective November the 6th, 2023 until on or about February the 6th, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for the updated Technology Department employment policy as presented, effective July the 1st, 2023 through June the 30th, 2027, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the memorandum of understanding between the Conzo Area School District and the Conzo Area Education Association regarding supplemental positions admitted in oversight from the current collective bargaining agreement as proposed, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? This is aye. Was this an addition?
Yes.
Is there any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Renzi, do you have anything to add?
No, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Harshman?
Nothing, thank you.
And since Monday night, I said Mr. Kokenair, how about Mrs. Kokenair? You good now? Mr. Evans?
Nothing, thanks.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Layton. Moving to policy and legislative, Mr. Martre.
Thank you, Mr. Panzilla. We have nothing on the agenda this evening. Mr. Monticello, anything additional?
Nothing.
Mr. Harshman?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Evans?
Nothing, thank
That's
you.
all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Martre. Moving to safety and security, Mr. Martucci.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval for Guardian Security Systems to purchase the security system at Springfield CMP Elementary School at a cost of $9,287.07 as attached, and also move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval, Mr. Darwin. That's all I have. Mr. Rainey.
I have nothing. Thank you.
Mr. Goodman.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Farland.
Nothing, thank you.
That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martucci. Go ahead and finish that thought, please, for special education.
Thanks again, Mr. Panzella. Request approval to purchase monitoring tool for IEP writer through Leader Services. The prorated cost for the progress monitoring module for the remainder of the 2023-24 school year is $2,839 to be paid through the special education budget, which is $2,689 for 9 months and 150 training service fee. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all I have. Mr. Lake?
Nothing, thank you.
Mrs. Sangster?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Amico?
Nothing, thanks.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Martucci. Moving to student services, Mrs. Sangston.
Thank you, Mr. Penzo. Request approval of the following travels. Sarah Hope, Greg Martray, Beth Angle, and approximately 35 students will be attending the Social Science Day at Penn State University Fayette on April 12, 2024, at no cost to the district. Transportation to be reimbursed by Penn State University. And I say that.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Mr. Harshman.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Monjo.
I don't have anything about the motion or anything, but I would like to make a statement. I would just like to put it out there that after 28 years of service on the board, I just want to tell out to the general public how much I appreciated the votes and everything. My wife and I both decided before the elections this year that this is going to be my last year, and I'm glad that we did that. And I strongly want to thank everybody, for putting me on for that long, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And we thank you too for everything you've done for the school district. Mr. D'Amico, you have it. That's all we have, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mrs. Sangston. Moving to technology, Mr. Harshman.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Item 21A, solicit bids. Request approval to solicit bids for the district-wide copier service. And I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Martucci.
No, sir.
Mr. Martray.
Nothing, Commissioner.
Mr. Ghost.
Nothing, thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshman. Moving to transportation, Mr. Coconut.
Thank you, Mr. Panzel. The request approval of the updates to the bus van driver list for the 2023-2024 school year is attached, and I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Panzel. Mr. Lee?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Rendon?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Evans?
Nothing, thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coconut. On the President's report, I would like to request approval to hold a board organization on December 6, 2023 at 7 p.m., followed by a voting meeting at 8 p.m., and for the board secretary to advertise as such. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything on, the other thing on the President's report, I just wanted to thank, and Mr. Monjo got a little ahead, that's all right. I wanted to thank him and Mr. Lake. Think about it, that's 60 years. That's a lifetime. That's amazing. God bless them. I'll tell you, that's a long time. And this district, they've seen a lot. They've seen the changes. They've seen the people. I mean, they've probably seen the kids grow up to be employees here. So it's really amazing. And thank you guys very much. And I know, Mr. Monjo, you had a little something. If you have anything else you'd like to say, Mr. Monjo?
No, I think I got everything.
You did a great job. I just wanted to tell you. Thank you very much. Mr. Lake?
Yeah, I actually have something here, and I should have followed Mr. Mongel's lead, and I wouldn't have got behind him beat this election. But I don't know what happened. There was 3,000 people said they voted for me. I only got 2,000 votes. It must have been voter fraud or something. But the first year on the first year in 1991, I got on the VOTEC, 91, 92. I was on a joint board, and I'm saying VOTEC because that's what it was called, and I was on the Fraser. And served numerous years on the VOTEC board. We went through numerous renovations, fights, keeping schools open, knocked down fights, ceilings falling down out of junior high west, the old Dunbar High School, water running down the inside of the walls at the south side of the classroom, clearing the hillside between the high school and the middle school. Myself, Brock Richter, Michael Maddock rented some equipment that was solid woods up there. They wanted to put a soccer field up there. We I volunteered my time and Rock was being paid, but me and Rock cleared the whole thing, took us about a week. The only problem we had, we burnt the brush and the high school sucked it all in with the ventilation system. So that caused a little bit of trouble. Myself and Mr. Mongell, he probably, I don't know if he remembers or not, they wanted water over at the concession stand at Junior High West over at the
In
stadium.
that trench.
Yeah, we dug the water line all the way around the track and put the water line in for the concession stand. After 7.5 years at Clarendon Steel Mill, I started as a laborer. When I left there, I was a millwright apprentice. And due to the big layoff in January of '82, it went from the largest coke plant in the world, from 5,000 some people down to 1,500 people. From that point on, I finished my career 36 years. I was a heavy equipment operator with Local 66 operating engineers. I guess you could say I was a career center kind of guy, you know, for information purposes. I've worked with a lot of great superintendents, some bad ones, some good ones. Great board members, some bad ones, some good ones, and I'm sure a lot of those board members would say the same thing about me. After all these years, I still believe if a child wants to learn, there's no better place than right here in the Collinsville School District. I'll believe that till I die. I want to thank all the people I've worked with in the last 32 years. The only thing I'm going to miss the income. I'm going to miss the hospitalization. Till I can get my Peter's pension, until they send it to me for 32 years, I'd really, if anybody's interested, maybe making a basket or something for me, I'd like to have a Chinese auction to help with my income. If you could help me, I'd greatly appreciate it. That's all I have. Thank you.
How about the
Don't
bill
forget
that
about all
you
the
get delivered?
kickbacks that we get too.
Yeah.
You hear that comment a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Panzella, and I want to tell you, it's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you.
Thank you. We have nothing for public comment for non-agenda items. Assistant to the superintendent.
I would just personally like to thank Mr. Lake and Ms. Morgell for their service. They've been here
Too long.
longer than and they've hired me multiple times, so I very much appreciate it.
Mr. Can I say something, Mr. Panzella? I didn't sign up, but I too want to extend my thanks to both of you for your 60 years, which is longer than I've been on this earth, but it's a long time, and if I can do anything to get something extra in your paycheck for you, Mr. Lake, I'll see what I can do.
You know my phone number.
I do, but thank you, the time that I've been in my position, I appreciate all of your cooperation and your hard work. And thank you as well for providing lunch to us tomorrow. We don't get excited about a whole lot of things, but Thanksgiving dinner is one of those things. So thank you very much, we appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. South Street. Do you have any?
Just to reiterate one more time, want to thank Mr. Leif and Mr. Mongell. Like Mr. Panzella said, that's 60 years of service to the board. What that is a perspective and an experience and being able to pull from past situation that's invaluable and is going to be greatly missed to our district. Also, I'd like to congratulate two incoming board members, John Detweiler and Cecilia Driscoll, and would like to welcome them to our team. Monday evening, we heard some very informative public comment regarding what was referred to as identity dress code, specifically describing instances where students identify and dress as animals. This was news to most of us and something that will definitely be further reviewed and evaluated. Since Monday evening, speaking to several of our administrators, this is not something that they were aware of, nor have been faced with to date in our district. In addition, we've asked our legal counsel to investigate cases where identifying as an animal is given constitutional or statutory protection that might otherwise restrict, limit, or otherwise require district action. In saying that, this allows us a good starting point to begin discussions to brainstorm potential issues that may arise around this topic. As was stated on Monday, it's important to honor differences and perspectives while maintaining a safe and supportive environment that promotes real and effective education and minimizes distractions. Next this week is American Education Week. I'd like to take time to thank everyone involved in the education of our students in this district. We are encouraged by the number of parents who are taking advantage of our parent-teacher conferences this week in each of our buildings, and appreciate everyone being willing to have an honest and sometimes hard conversation in an effort to strengthen that rapport and working relationship between the schools and our families. And finally, next Thursday is Thanksgiving. Wednesday, November 21st through Monday, November 27th, there is no school for students. And I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and hope that everyone has an enjoyable and well-needed break. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. That's all we have. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.